Right, hello, what's going on? We're gonna do what we normally do. We're gonna look at some records. Got some shit pulled out, all really good shit. This is actually gonna be one of the better stacks of records that I think I've shown in a single video for a while, so good stuff. Also, in the background we have something especially good playing. It's a little bit louder than normal, so hopefully you can hear it, at least to get a taste of it, because I think anybody who hears this will probably really like it. Basically, there's a guy by the name of Damien who I'm following on Instagram. We're friends on Facebook, and he asked for my address one day. I gave it to him and he sent me this, and this is a project that he's involved in. This is Absinthropy with the Vigilante's Doctrine. Upon the first time I listened to this, I got a very sort of distinct Life Lover feel from it. And if you look it up on Metal Archives, it actually describes this and Life Lover the same way, with black metal / depressive rock. But in many ways, I think that this is a lot more sort of diverse than Life Lover is. There's a lot of different types of vocals on here. This switches back and forth between acoustic and black metal. It's just really interesting. Like you can hear now, it's kind of like yelling. It's really cool. The Wretched vocals on here are some of the best I've heard in a long time. Musically, just super interesting. Man, this thing is awesome. I'm going to see what links I can find. I'm going to put as many links in the description. I'm going to put as many links in the description as I can find, where you can maybe like this shit on Facebook, see if they have a Bandcamp, anywhere you might be able to pick up this CD. This is the most recent one from last year, and it's fucking great. So, highly recommended by me, man. Let's get into it. I got two 7-inches here. One of these 7-inches I've had for a long time, and I completely forgot that I've never shown it, or at least I don't think I've shown it. And the other one of these I just got the other day, and I'm going to talk about that one first, because this is probably the most rare, valuable 7-inch that I own. And that's this. This is the self-titled Goat Moon EP from 2009. So this was actually the first Goat Moon EP ever. There was a bunch of material that came out before this, including both of the first two full-length albums, and a string of like 6 or 7 demos that came out before the first two albums, and then there was this. And like I said, it came out in 2009, and basically there's kind of 2 songs on here, but they're split up into parts, so there technically is 4, I guess. But there's Ghost Forest Part 1 and 2, and then Storming Through White Light Part 1 and 2. And obviously Storming Through White Light went on to be on the Varyat album. Of course it was re-recorded because this is more of demo quality, but it's cool to have the earlier demo version of that song. But really, that's kind of what you would buy this for. The first song, Ghost Forest, it's basically not really a song so much. I think part 2, it's kind of real quiet, soft instrumentation with the occasional like wretched scream over the top of it. I don't know what the fuck he's saying, but it's kind of doesn't really qualify as like an actual song. Where Storming Through White Light, if you're familiar with Varyat, it's just the demo version of that. And I know this was recently put on CD, and it was like an extended version with more shit on it. This was originally put on cassette in 2009, and then in 2010, we got the 7-inch EP. There was also some guest shit on here. Guest vocals on Ghost Forest. The guy who did that was the guy who does vocals for Azazel. And I know there's guest guitar on here by Harold Mentor, who is in Ride for Revenge, so kind of cool. And the reason that I'm keeping it in here is because it's literally 2 pieces of paper. It's not an actual jacket, so like you could see the front and back cover are kind of just separate pieces of paper. I don't know why the fuck Bestial Burst put this out, and they're usually pretty good about quality, but yeah, I don't know what happened here. I guess it's just an earlier release. But of course, the classic green owl, which is cool. I mean, the very first part of the first song kind of starts out with like an owl hooting. Quite cool. There's the back right there with the track listing, and you just got some credits, and like I said, Bestial Burst. This still has the little promotional card in there for some of the releases that were to come out around that time. Very cool. And the vinyl itself is green. Really cool. I like the labels a lot. Very nice. I was real close to breaking down and buying the CD, but I'm glad I got the 7-inch. Great stuff, man. Goat Moon can do no wrong as far as I'm concerned, so that's Goat Moon. This is something that I probably never showed just because, I mean, it's not really much to it. There's not really much of a reason for me to show this, so I'm going to blow through it. This is Intolerant with Suicidal Allegiance. Like I said, I don't think I've ever shown this, but whatever. It's basically more of the same from Intolerant. You know what it sounds like. Sort of grinding, noisy black metal. With super edgy song titles, of course. There's 11 songs on here total, which for a 7-inch you could probably reasonably assume that they're short. And it is just black vinyl with the labels are identical on both sides. And this also includes a little promotional card for this specific release. This was put out on New Era Productions back in 2016. This is the most recent Intolerant release that I have bought. And this actually is the only thing that I still needed for my Intolerant collection. So now I have all of it. Everything that Intolerant was released in one version or another. The only thing I'm missing on Discogs is a cassette. But I think it was just the first album or something like that. So whatever, I have it all. Yeah, you know what it sounds like. Intolerant, Suicidal Allegiance. Alright, let's get into it. So, first off, we have something that I'm super fucking excited to own. And I actually got this from the same guy who I got that Goat Moon 7-inch from. He lives here in Louisville. His name's Isaac. He's a really cool guy. Basically, he was selling some shit because he had just bought something and he was kind of in the hole. So he's selling some of his collection. His collection is fucking ridiculous. So being that I live down the road from this guy here in Louisville, you know, didn't cost me anything to ship it. I just met him, gave him the money, he gave me the 3 records, we talked for a bit, and done deal, right? But this was one of the things that I bought from him, and this is one of the coolest things that I've gotten in a while, because this album is just great. This is Argo Slint with Galloping Through the Battle Ruins. So obviously this is the debut full-length album from Argo Slint from 1998. But something that's kind of cool on here is a couple of the songs that are on this release are re-recorded demo songs. So like the Imperial Clans, Rape of a Slave, Incursions, The Entity, those are demo songs, but these obviously were re-recorded for this full-length album and they sound fucking great. Obviously we know Argo Slint for being a death metal band that has some of the best riffs in all of death metal. And we've talked about it before. Argo Slint, I could hear an argument for Argo Slint not being death metal musically, because it kind of sounds more like aggressive power metal with like a death metal edge. In terms of the riffs, they don't really sound like death metal riffs. And in terms of the production, it kind of doesn't sound like death metal there either. The only thing that really I think gives us a death metal sound besides the vocals is just the distortion in the guitar. It seems like it's death metal guitar playing like power metal style riffs. I don't know, man, it works so fucking well. So this is actually the first press of this one from 2003, originally just on CD and I think cassette until 2003. And this was only pressed once until like 2016, I think, when Car repressed it. But I would say if you've heard, you know, one Argo Slint release, you've kind of heard them all. They're very similar in tone and in riffs, and you know, they don't really step out of their box very often. But I mean, I don't even really care. I mean, fuck, man, give me 10 more albums that sound like this. I'm okay with it. There's the front cover right there. The front cover was painted like over 400 years ago. And the guy who painted it, I'm not sure he'd be an Argo Slint fan, but I don't know, maybe. There's the back right there. Like I said, this is the original press on Hellflame Productions. This does include a single-sided lyric insert here with a cool picture of like a fucking tiger. I like this right here. It says, this album was recorded south of the Mason-Dixie line, and send all hate mail to Argo Slint P.O. Box 393. Very cool. So obviously Argo Slint, we know, has members of Grand Belial's Key, and you can kind of tell, I mean, both of those bands are just some of the riffiest fucking bands in all of extreme metal. So I don't even think you'd need to be told that they share members. But yeah, if you didn't know, Grand Belial's Key, Argo Slint. This is just black vinyl. It was only pressed on black vinyl, but I'll show you the labels. They're not desperately interesting, but I don't know, kind of cool anyway. So yeah, I've just been on a massive kick lately. I have a couple more Argo Slint records I've never shown. I have a Grand Belial's Key record that I want to show soon. It's fucking awesome, man. I love this shit. I don't know what else to say. If you don't know Argoslint, then, I mean, fuck, get on it, dude. That's Argoslint with Galloping Through the Battle Ruins. Okay, next up, this is something that's actually brand new. First time pressed on vinyl for all the fans of this band. I'm sure everybody's eating it up. And I suspect you'll probably see a lot of this in the coming weeks. This is Blasphemy with Victory, Son of the Damned. So, this is a rehearsal from 2001. From what I understand, this was after Blasphemy had gone on like a hiatus and then sort of reformed. They played 2 live shows in a really short amount of time. One of those live shows went on to be the Live Ritual Friday the 13th record that was put out around the same time. The other one of those live shows was recorded like a month later, and it's this one. Not so much of a live show because this is considered a rehearsal, and that is what this was for. It was literally recorded in the basement of one of the guys in the band. And a cool fact on Nuclear War Now, it actually says that it was recorded using the same little recorder that was used for the Friday the 13th release. Just neat little facts like that. I kind of like it. But this is really cool, man. They were rehearsing for a bigger show. And you can kind of tell on the back here, that's what the back looks like. The song Victory, Son of the Damned is on here twice, and it's actually played twice back to back. And the reason given was because it was a new song. They had never recorded it before. They'd only played it a couple times, so they played it back to back on here in preparation for a bigger show. And Victory, Son of the Damned, this is the only recording of that song, and that is, of course, the title track. I mean, you guys have probably noticed lately I've been really into like live shows and stuff, and this is just great. So this is the whole rehearsal, and I like that you can just kind of hear them talking between the songs and stuff like that. It really humanizes a band when you sort of have like between song banter. It's just, I don't know, man, it's cool, it's interesting, and Blasphemy is obviously one of the most classic bands in extreme metal. Being that this was recorded with like a little tape recorder, you know, the sound quality is a lot better than you might expect it to be. Of course, it is still raw and noisy, but you can hear everything that's going on just fine, so that's not really a concern. But this has a great fucking cover. Obviously cool Chris Moyen artwork as always. There's the back right there with just a shot of the rehearsal. You have all the track listing, some credits and shit like that, and a little black metal logo here. Gatefold's got a couple of great pictures from the actual rehearsal, which my dumbass, for the first time I looked at it, thought that this was one big picture, but it's fucking very clearly not. I know in the Nuclear War Now notes on this, it says that Impurith from Black Witchery was in the crowd. And this does come with a poster, which you can see right there. There's no reason for me to grab it off there. It's literally just the album cover. Now, strangely, there was a mistake on Nuclear War Now's part. That mistake being, I ordered the black vinyl because there's no reason for me to get the Die Hard with the flag because I don't use flags, and, you know, a sticker would end up just going in the jacket. So, weirdly, I got sent the red vinyl, but I only got sent the vinyl, so he didn't send me, like, all the Die Hard shit that came with the red vinyl. I just accidentally got the red vinyl, so whatever. But it is a double LP, and side 4 is etched, so it's got a sweet fucking Baphomet sigil there. Very cool. But yeah, I've been a sucker for live shit recently, so this is just something else to add to that collection, man. Very, very cool. You guys know it. Blasphemy, Victory, Son of the Damned. Besides the live shit, I've also gotten a lot of splits in recently, and this is one of those, and this is one of the better splits that I've gotten in recently. This is Sarkrista split with Sielun Viholinen. This is basically one of the best splits between some of the best modern black metal bands that I could think up in my head. Literally, blank canvas, pick 2 bands to make a split that would make a great contrast to one another, and also just release some of the best fucking music coming out currently. Sarkrista and Sielun Viholinen would be 2 of the bands that I would nominate to be on a split together. Obviously, I think at this point you guys are probably pretty familiar with both of these bands. Sarkrista from Germany, Sielun Viholinen from Finland. And like I said, such a great fucking contrast between black metal projects. Sarkrista being raw and more atmospheric, and for me, I think that the material that's on this split sounds more Sargeisty than Sarkrista has ever sounded. And obviously, when I've talked about Sarkrista in the past, that's one of the main compliments that I give it, is it has a very Sargeisty sound. The material on this is almost identical to something that Sargeist would release. And I'm talking like Let the Devil In type Sargeist. Really, really good shit. On the other hand, Sielun Violinen is a little bit cleaner, but also has that distinct NS sound that I love so fucking much. Obviously, it's got the more sort of bouncy riffs, and it's got the sing-song style songwriting, and I'm a sucker for that shit as well. They're great, man. Both of these bands are fucking great. So this was released in 2014, a year after the first Sarkrista full-length album, and a year before the first Sielun Violinen album. It really does just sort of embody both of these bands and what they stand for, and it's just such a good fucking split, man. If you guys haven't heard this, my god, I think more than anything else I've talked about today, you guys have to hear this shit. Also, this was the only split that either of these bands have done so far. And I believe this was limited to 300 copies, and it was 200 on black and 100 on white, I think. Anyway, there's the front cover. I'm not really a fan of the style of artwork that goes along with a lot of the Sielun Violinen stuff, but whatever, it's fine. There's the back right there with just the track listing put out through Purity Through Fire. And this is just the black vinyl, like I said, limited to 200 copies and just a side each. Yeah, dude, both of these bands are hard to beat, especially Sielun Violinen. I really, really want to get the debut full-length album. I don't have it yet. I'll pick it up eventually, and they just released a demo compilation, which I'm fucking pining for. So, check it out. If you haven't heard either of these bands, Sielun Violinen is where to start for me. I just think that shit is absolutely bulletproof, so check it out if you're interested. Sarkrista, Sielun Violinen, fucking fantastic. Alright, so this next one's just not metal. This is Beast Milk with Climax. For those of you who aren't familiar, Beast Milk is like, I think it's described as like apocalyptic post-punk. I have no idea what that means. I mean, listening to this, I would never have thought punk, but whatever, man, who am I to argue with genres? This is the one and only full-length album from Beast Milk, and these guys are actually from Finland as well. This one was released in like 2013 or something like that. And it's the only full-length album they've put out so far. This is the only 12-inch record they've put out so far. I mean, they've done some EPs and stuff, but it's just 7 inches. They've done cassettes, stuff like that. But this is the only full-length album, and this is fucking awesome. And this kind of has a quality to it that I sort of find that I like with some black metal bands, where it sounds almost friendly, but if you read the lyrics, it's super dark, and that's what this is. There's some cool song titles on here. Death Reflects Us, The Wind Blows Through Their Skulls, Genocidal Crush, You Are Now Under Our Control, Surf the Apocalypse, Fear Your Mind, Nuclear Winter. There's just some good stuff on here, man. And like I said, it does sound sort of almost friendly, and the vocals are, you know, they kind of don't sound very aggressive or harsh or anything like that. The guy is just singing, and it is kind of reverbed, which I think is cool. But it's just great, man. I mean, I think a lot of you guys would probably like this. I mean, this isn't really my thing either, but giving it a listen, I really fucking dig it. So, yeah, very cool. There's the album cover right there. Not a fan. I don't get it at all. The name of the band is kind of dumb. I don't know what the fucking Milk connection is, but they use it in a lot of their artwork. There's the back right there, put out on Svart Records. Which has done a lot of good stuff, obviously. You got all the track listing on the back. This is a 2018 repress. I actually got this from Nuclear War Now on a sale that they had going. So you get a big booklet, which is quite cool. I like this. It's very simple. But on the inside, you have some more weird pictures, including band members, lyrics, and Milk. And like I said, man, I don't really get the connection. I don't know if there's some kind of like lore or backstory there. If there is, I don't know anything about it. But it's interesting anyway. This is just black vinyl, limited to 300 copies. It was released on some other colors too, but I don't remember what they were. Probably red or white or something like that. But yeah, it does come with a download code, which I've already used, so pointless. But yeah, man, I mean, if you guys like stuff like Rope Sect, for example, then I think that you would enjoy this. It is a little bit maybe friendlier sounding than something like Rope Sect is, but you know, the really dark lyrics make up for it. So check it out if you like just non-metal dark music. Very cool. Beast Milk with Climax. Last but not least, this is something I was kind of surprised to see start popping up in distros again. Satanic Warmaster with Revelation. So this is an EP from 2007, and this has been sold out from distros and shit for a while, and it started going for quite a bit of money on eBay and Discogs and shit a couple of years ago when I was looking for one. And then randomly it starts popping up in distros again, and I got this from Hell's Headbangers along with that Cielo and Viola and Sarkrista split. Yeah, it just popped up in a distro, and what's weird is there's no mention of a repress anywhere. It wasn't mentioned on Werewolf Records, it wasn't mentioned by No Colors Records, it's not on Discogs as a repress, it just went up for sale, and I know there was a few of them, and now it's going for real cheap on Discogs. I don't know what happened there. I'm going to assume that this is some type of repress, but being that there's no mention of it, I don't know, maybe it is a first press, and if it is, the first press was limited to 2,000 copies, which it says here, and the second 1,000 of them were pressed on black vinyl, while the first 1,000 were split up between red, yellow, green, blue, maybe. Yeah, it's real weird, but to give you an idea of what this might sound like, this was an EP that was released between Corellian Satanist Madness and Noxir, to give you an idea of what it sounds like. But yeah, really simple cover, just a sigil of Baphomet there. There's the back there, which is really cool. Obviously you got Werewolf there, you got one of the older Satanic Warmaster logos with the like Opt for Blue Wolves. And actually, if you look this up on Metal Archives, it actually says that Mikko Aspa plays drums for this recording. Which that's kind of cool. Mikko Aspa's a great musician, so it shows here. And the final song on this, The Sign of the Master, is my favorite song. It's super fucking catchy. This is numbered here, which I don't know. You can see it there. It's number 1824 out of 2000. So kind of weird. I don't know if you have any information on whether or not this is a repress or if this is a first press that they found some. I've got no idea, so I guess I'll take whatever you've got to say as fact. This is single-sided, no etching or anything like that. It's very, very simple. And this also includes a lyric sheet. And the lyric sheet includes lyrics for just 2 of the songs. Wolves of Revelation and Sign of Fighter's Storm. Love it, man. If you like Satanic Warmaster and you want this, now's probably the time to get it. So that's Revelation. And that's it, guys. It's 5 more 12-inch records down, a couple more 7-inch records. Yeah, making a dent. I still got a bunch of shit that I've not shown. I've got some really cool shit that I haven't shown yet too. So, yeah, in the coming videos, we'll see some real nice shit. So, stick around. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and we'll talk soon. Later.